I wanted to make a quick video on different irises and my thoughts on irises and I don't know, stuff. This is beat channel stuff. But we have a few different types of irises here, which is kind of funny because I'm not a huge fan of irises, but I just have a lot of them for whatever reason. So talk about my ideas, kind of thoughts real quick. So first one we have is this is kind of like the Amazon special. This is literally just like a, I think it's a 30mm, 37mm iris kind of system. And the point of iris is to increase depth of field. So allows your night vision device to focus on more things at once, in turn for a more noisy, grainy, dimmer image. So these thread directly on, threads on like that. See, kind of like a day cap, pinch to take this off. There's a sacrificial lens in front of this. You can twist it, opens it up, close it. In the full close position, you can kind of treat this like a day cap. So see your PVS-7 is on. They're okay. I have some that get caught up. I own two of these. They get caught up at times. I don't, in general, just due to how I do night vision, I don't use irises that much, and I often find it faster just to really quickly kind of focus this. If I'm gonna have to turn something and kind of dial this in to get the focus and ratio right, I might as well just focus my image. That's kind of my idea, but if you're a fan of irises and the idea of having an iris to quickly increase depth of field, this is a good cheap option. I think you can get these for like right around $30 on Amazon. I don't use this with the PVS-7 though. We'll get to that in a second. This is called I think it's NC14. I don't even know if they make these anymore. There's a small batch of them done. This is a kind of traditional over-the-top friction fit day cap and iris system. So these are kind of cool. They're MJF printed. I think they came from Korea. I got mine used, but I don't even know if you can find them anywhere. Yeah, NAC 14 cap. They're really nice though. This is what I keep on my PVS-7. So pretty much you could fully close it. So if you turn it on, point at the sun, literally nothing's happening. You can open it up and it stays retained. Not gonna lose anything. There's a little magnet here. They exit so it stays like that. Open it up. You can use it, treat it like a day cap, you know. If you want to, you can flick this and bring it all the way open and it clicks into place. So you can have full night vision, you know, proper night vision amount of light getting in. You can push it over, kind of adjust to, there's a special ratio. I think it's right at 5.6 millimeters. A lot of people use a 5.56 bullet to get it in, and once the ratio is reached, you have a pretty good mix of lighting to focus depth, and that's what people like. It's just, for me, it takes too long to kind of quickly find that, in my opinion. I just often focus on do up close stuff. But you can use this to kind of adjust your depth of field, then to fully close it again, just locks right in place. I find myself using this on the PVS-7 a lot because this is kind of my loner goggle. It's really easy just to tell people, hey, turn it off, and before you do anything else, close the front. Some people forget to turn it off, forget where the button is. It's really hard to forget how to just close the front of this, and it makes a really nice thing because it's all together. I'm not going to lose anything, and I also can just treat this like a day cap to you know, use as a loner to show people, hey, look through this. I know it's day, but you can still look through it because there's an iris on the front. I like these. I think at the time these were going for like right around $50 shipped to your door, so around $20 more than the other one, and there's no sacrificial lens. But the cool thing, because this isn't thread on, you actually can have other things threaded on here. So if you're like an astronomy guy and you like having astronomy filters, you can screw in a filter on, or a LIF, light interference filter, or even a sacrificial lens. You can screw that on and then put this over the top of it. So kind of cool advantage. Last one, this is an infinity iris. I don't even think you can get these in the States, so they're really hard to get in the States. They're quite rare. They're ridiculously expensive. This was given to me as a gift, and it's like, in my opinion, it's a great night vision gift because it's something that I don't think I'd ever go out of my way to buy, but I think super neat. I'm really glad I have. They're quite Gucci. So I think these are right like around $150 to $250 irises, and they're irises done right. I personally still don't use irises that often, but if I was going to use one, or I ever was doing a lot of like indoor stuff, I think this is the type of iris I would use. So once again, these are thread-ons. So threads right on, get in there like that. And you can see there's a sacrificial lens up front. Really cool design in knurling. These are made in Canada, I believe. Let me get this tightened down all the way so I can kind of demonstrate this stuff to you. Pretty much full open. Remember I talked about that sweet spot of the 5.6 millimeters threads? This has a quick lock-in connection. I forgot the word, but it locks at 5.6 first, and then you can fully twist it to the fully closed. So you can kind of hear it, that click. That's the 5.6 millimeter sweet spot, and that's why I actually think this is cool, because this actually will let for a fast focus. You just really quickly turn it until it closes and clicks, and then that's going to give you that close-up focus that's still usable, that's just really grainy. You don't have to do any of this like weird searching to get it, because you might as well, if you're doing searching, you might as well just use your focus. That's what makes this super cool. So these are really cool. I just don't think you can get them in the States. You just can't go buy them. And they're really expensive, but they're super duper neat. I love how they look. And that click is just so nice. So very grateful. I don't know if the guy that gifted these is watching the channel, but if you are, thank you very much. I absolutely love this. I know we kind of talked about it being an abomination on a PVS 7, but I kind of think it's baller. So that's kind of my thoughts on these different irises. You know, $30, $50, like $150 to $250, how much these are going for, if you can even get them. I think they're all good for their own use cases. You'll see some guys running quads on these, and that's just kind of like the most ultimate, if you know, subtle flex, I suppose. On my personal side, I actually just don't run irises generally. Call me weak, but these do actually add a decent amount of weight on binos. Kind of out in the front is noticeable because it's all the way to the front. And I also I don't do enough super close range distance stuff to really need that. I'm most of the time outside hiking, and we're good there. But I kind of want to get another one of these, because I was borrowing my friend. He has 2 of these on his binos, and that was really nice. I'm not gonna lie, because you could really quickly go from like, you know, binos with full, you know, image open, and just snap right to a very clean, well, noisy but perfectly balanced between long range focus, close range focus, and still having depth perception with a lot of depth of field. Is really cool. The one thing I'll say that I kind of always ramble about when people talk about this, they're like, oh, I've got an auto gain tube, I'll just get this to get manual gain. These are 2 very different things. Manual gain, as you decrease brightness, I'm sorry, I don't have like actually, wait, I'll turn off the lights. Let's see, maybe that'll work. Yeah, we'll actually demonstrate this real quick. Let's throw the Infinity Iris on. This room's still not very bright, so when the tube's gonna be fully on, it's gonna be auto-cading like crazy. That's okay. Actually, we'll turn it to 5.6 millimeter. So, manual gain, as I decrease brightness, I don't know if y'all can see this very well. Let's kind of focus on this. There you go, that's focus. As I decrease brightness, the image becomes cleaner, less noise, right? As I increase brightness, there's going to be more noise. You can see kind of the grain. As I decrease, less and less grain, right? Until we have more and more grain the more I turn it up. Thing with irises is that when I decrease brightness, we have more grain, right? More grain for less brightness. For this, when I decrease brightness, we get a cleaner image. So they kind of do opposite things. And in my opinion, that's kind of like, I don't know, the beautiful thing about manual gain is you're able to get just like absolutely gorgeous, like super crisp looking clean images, because your eyes will get adjusted. I don't know, I feel like irises used to dim in the image is kind of funny. Using it for close-up focus stuff, if you're doing a lot of that makes sense. Dimming the image, it's kind of weird. Just get manual gain. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this silly little rant. Kind of funny that this might be my last video on the B channel, but yeah.